How you guys doing today? You're listening to the Fourth Liners podcast. I think it's episode 4 now. Wow, it's crazy to say, Bryce?
Four whole episodes. Getting better with each one.
Yeah, exactly. We're learning. We're loving the support from you guys, honestly. We got some exciting things to talk about today, or the winners and losers of the trade deadline that just happened yesterday, and some interesting trades, some shocking trades, and a lot of moves throughout the league, but we're ready to break them down for you.
Don't you want to talk about your NHL franchise mode first, real quick?
Okay. If this happened in real life, it'd be unreal, but I can believe it. The Chicago Blackhawks have done it before. So I have a franchise mode. Whoever plays franchise mode, it's pretty fun. I just do it to relax, but pretty proud.
Simulate, you don't play.
I simulate. That's what you do in franchise mode. You don't actually play the games.
No, why would I play the games? No, I simulate.
It's a waste of time. But yeah, so I'm the Chicago Blackhawks right now. I'm the owner of the Chicago Blackhawks, or GM, whatever. And
Wait, you do it on owner mode?
Yeah, I do it on owner mode.
You worry about the prices of hot dogs?
Man, I want to be tested. I want to be fired if I deserve to be fired.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But I rarely get fired. I'm pretty good at it. Not gonna lie, not a big deal.
kind of a big deal in the NHL sphere.
Well, this team, the Chicago Blackhawks, back-to-back Stanley Cup champions and back-to-back President's Trophy winners. Never has happened for me in franchise mode. A big accomplishment, going to the Hall of Fame. Insane. And I built an insane Chicago Blackhawks team.
Who's on your top line?
Top line, it's Alex DeBrincat, Dylan Larkin, and Patrick Kane.
That's kind of filthy.
Yeah, it is filthy. And then my second line was Kirby Dach, Morgan Frost, which is an 89 overall, making $4 million for 4 years. And
Morgan Get a better agent, bud.
Yeah, literally $4 million for Morgan Frost. And then I got Cole Caulfield, who tore it up. On the league.
He's got good potential in the game. Who's your best defenseman?
Adam Boqvist. He's a 92 overall.
Who's second best defenseman?
Romanov, 80, 85, 86. You don't really,
nice.
Yeah, and I have Shirkin in net too, so 90 overall.
Oh man.
Cap issues are coming.
Yeah. That's awesome though.
Oh yeah.
I haven't played a GM mode in so long. I haven't bought NHL in a couple years.
Man, I recommend it. It's honestly so fun. If you want to relax and simulate the games like we do, go right ahead. It's very relaxing.
Yeah. Well, we're both big 2BC Productions fans.
2BC, I love him.
Honestly, I think that guy has made such a huge impact on our generation and even the generation younger. That guy's been making NHL videos and he's been the best at it for how long?
He's been around for so his commentaries are just so interesting, and they keep you he never stops talking, so you're always interested in what he's saying, and he keeps it alive, and that's what I like about him.
He's one of the only guys that can genuinely make me laugh out loud.
Yeah. He makes me laugh all the time. He freaks out.
I'm watching his Ducks series right now. It's really good. Oh, my phone. Shut up. I'm watching his Ducks series right now, and it's the other night he was playing in the playoffs. Have you seen it?
Oh, wait, I watched it last night. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Trevor Zegras, 73 overall.
Yeah. Dude, when he was freaking out about Price saving everything, I was losing my mind, dude.
I know.
When I don't remember who in his team took that big slap shot, and he's like, "Oh my God, how does he miss that?" And then he goes into the replay, and it shows Price make the save with the staff of his with the shaft.
I could just hear him yelling.
Saved it, and then just silence.
Oh, he's so funny.
Oh yeah, he's that guy. Honestly, I wish he uploaded more consistently. I've been waiting for this guy to he's already taken off, but I want him to become
I want to
bigger.
see his face.
You can actually look him up and you can find a picture of him.
Oh really? Okay.
I'll show you after the podcast. Yeah, I'll show you after
Sounds
the podcast.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
So should we get into the winners and losers?
Yeah.
All right.
Winners and do you want to start with trades that happened before the deadline and then just go up to the top?
Sure, yeah, like so right before yesterday.
Yeah, so maybe even before. We could start with well, we already talked about the Palmieri trade.
Yep.
In our most recent episode, so we can go to the next kind of big one, and that's the Panthers and the Blackhawks, and the Hawks acquired Brett Connolly, Riley Stillman, Henrik Borgstrom, and then Florida got Lucas Wallmark and Lucas Carlson. And the theme for me is I think Florida are losers this trade deadline, because I think that team is in like a serious position to like make noise in the playoffs. And when I saw this trade happen, I thought they were doing it to clear up cap space for something big. And something big never came.
Sam Bennett. That's their
Brandon Montour as well.
Brandon Montour and Sam Bennett, like, are you really winning with those players?
I mean, Sam Bennett will help. Brandon Montour will help. But, like, I wanted them to get, like, an impact winger. And it just didn't happen.
Taylor Hall.
Yeah, I wanted them to get Taylor Hall. I wanted them to get Palmieri. You know, I wanted them to look at guys like Jeff Carter were available. You know, it's like, it sucks because like I am a diehard Canucks fan, but like I'm also a Florida Panthers fan. Like they're my East team.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see.
And so I'm not obviously diehard about them, but like I definitely like them. They have the best jerseys in the league. Okay, that's not
the
even
Florida Panthers
have the best jerseys in the league.
Really?
We should save this debate for a whole episode.
You know what? This will be a debate. We'll rate the jerseys one time, and we'll have the viewers clue into that to see who has the best jersey in the NHL. That's actually a tough decision. I like the Mighty Ducks old, Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Those are the best.
Oh, I'm not including third jerseys.
Oh, okay. That's excluded. All right. Okay.
Third jerseys, like, there are some pretty sick third jerseys in the league.
Don't you think, though, that Florida Panthers, they look like a soccer jersey, like the emblem of it?
No, I love the crest.
Okay.
I love the colors. I love the colors are so nice.
I can agree the colors look nice.
The navy blue pants, like, they look good.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good-looking team, man. Barkov, that's a good-looking man right there in a good-looking jersey.
Sasha Barkov.
Sasha.
Beautiful man in the shootout.
Dude. So yeah, Florida. I think Florida are losers here, man. I don't know. What do you think?
I can agree with you there. Like they're trying to go for the cup right now, and they definitely can. And I'm surprised they didn't get anything for Drieger. They kind of just kept him, and he was up for grabs. And any team could have used him. He's having an impeccable season.
I mean, maybe they're just concerned about Bobrovsky.
If he's not consistent or healthy.
Yeah. I mean, you just don't know with that guy at this point.
Very true. That's very true. He's making $11 million too, and they're not sure about him. So,
that's problematic.
That is problematic for the Florida Panthers. So, but yeah, they are losers. Brandon Montour is a good defenseman, but he was on a losing team in Buffalo. So, is he gonna bring a losing mentality over to Florida?
What does his stat line look like this year?
I don't think it's that impressive. But
I mean, 5 goals, 9 assists.
Yeah, like
-13. But I mean, at this point, you can't really blame anybody on Buffalo for being negative.
No,
so.
If you're on Buffalo, you're not having a great season. That's for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he steps up into their top 4.
Maybe he breaks out.
They lost Ekblad, right? They lost Ekblad, so
yeah,
they needed a defenseman.
That's true. He can slot in there where Ekblad is. Is he a right-handed defenseman or left-handed?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I never know if they're right-handed or left-handed. Honestly, in the NHL, it doesn't really matter as much.
It didn't matter until recently, until Babcock in Toronto started making a big deal about lefties and righties, and then all of a sudden everybody's talking about, is he left-handed or right-handed? It's like, I don't know. What?
Hey, if you can shoot the
probably
puck,
left.
He's all good.
Yeah.
Fun fact: when I was younger, I could shoot both ways. That's how I started. The straight Jofa stick or Reebok stick.
Wow.
Yep. Still have that stick today.
Wish I could still do that.
Yeah, that's how I started. I shot both ways, left and right. But now I'm a righty, so.
If you when you were on a breakaway or something, did you ever to throw the goalie off? Just switch hands? Oh yeah,
all the time. Just switch it up.
All the switch hitter?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They never knew it was coming. They never knew it was coming.
That's a foreign concept.
Man, they should do that in the NHL. No problem with right-handed defensemen or left-handed defensemen anymore.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Florida, they made another move. We'll get to it eventually. The next kind of big trade after that was the Leafs acquiring Riley Nash.
Yeah, so I want to bring that to attention where it kind of looks like why would they get Riley Nash? So I think the terms are that Dubas was thinking that Riley Nash right now is on the long-term injury reserve, where that does open cap for them because he's not active in their roster. So for when he was getting players in future trades, we'll talk about later, that freed up cap space for them to be able to do that. And if they eventually want him to, they could let him play in the playoffs. And he's a good veteran on the team as well. They're getting that leadership and that veteranship.
Is he supposed to come back for the playoffs?
It's a maybe. It's not for sure.
Because like Riley Nash is one of those guys that like you'd love to have on your third line. Like he's kind of explosive. He can score, and he's just a meat and potatoes kind of player, right?
I was looking in the comments like on the trade from TSN, and people were saying, "What the heck? Why would you trade him? He's like their franchise leading scorer." And I'm like, "That's the wrong Nash, buddy. That's not the right Nash. That's Rick Nash."
What year are we in?
It's like he woke up from a coma and I don't know, 2015 or whatever, 2011.
Oh no, my Jackets traded our Nash. We're done. All the cups he probably won with us. It's over. I hate this coma. Dude, Riley Nash, good player.
Yeah, good player. Yeah. I mean, if he can come to the lineup, he can contribute, I think. Third, fourth line. Or if you want to keep him on the side and someone gets hurt, he can easily replace them, for sure. The next trade that's bigger than that, we'll skip the next few. We already talked about the Montour trade. We can go Devin Dubnyk to the Colorado Avalanche. What are your thoughts on that?
That's simply because Francouz is hurt. Grubauer is the guy.
Yeah,
there's no way they get away from Grubauer. I think Dubnyk's just there in case something happens to Grubauer.
Yeah, for sure. Right? That insurance, right? I guess everyone wants that insurance, especially if they're the goaltenders in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Dubnyk has proven
Dubnyk is
himself.
Yeah, he's having a bad year, but like Dubnyk has been known to go on runs, man.
Yeah,
like, Dubnyk has the potential to do that.
And if he's on the right team too, Colorado's a winning team, so he's a good team in front of him. Like San Jose was not the strongest team to go, and they were sticking with Martin Jones too. So,
well, that's a whole other issue for San Jose.
That is a whole other issue. They got Greg Pattern back. Thanks that. I'll probably butcher everyone's name, but yeah, minor. That was just a player to throw in, I guess, for a roster spot and a 5th round pick. Not too bad for Devin Dubnyk, I have to say.
No, not.
I think Colorado won that
especially
trade
for a team that's obviously missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a minor player at this point in time. He's going to be the backup, but he'll be there if something happens to Grubauer. So
for sure,
that's good to have.
For sure. We move on to the next
3-team trade. Yeah, 3-team trade. Tampa Bay, Columbus, Detroit. Tampa Bay ends up getting David Savard and Brian Lashoff. Columbus gets a first.
Yep.
Which is kind of crazy, actually.
That's insane. Yeah, people are saying Columbus are winners in this trade deadline, because of how many picks they got back, and they got rid of some hefty contracts. I mean, I know. Does Savard have years on his contract, or is he expiring?
He might be expiring.
I think he's expiring. But getting what they did, like they got back. It's it's interesting that they did a 3-way trade. But I think Tampa Bay really benefits from this because now they were already a favorite to win the Stanley Cup, or one of the favors, and adding David Savard, that is an insane addition to the defense that's already hard to get past there in Tampa Bay. And you have Vasilevsky too. Like, it's just going to be hard to score goals on them, I think.
Columbus getting a first for Savard is kind of crazy to me, though. Like,
it is.
A guy like Taylor Hall doesn't fetch a first.
Yeah.
But David Savard. Like,
I mean, that might be the demand of defense and not demand of Taylor Hall.
You're probably right, but that is a huge win for Columbus. David Savard's going to be good on Tampa Bay. Don't get me wrong, but first.
Yeah, he's not worth a first, maybe a second at least. But
Tampa fans have probably see that, and they got to be a little bit on the edge about it, right? Like, because fans hate it when teams trade away the first.
Because they hate it. Even if they're lower picks, they can end up being a high-rated prospect for them, and you just don't know, right?
I remember when Vancouver got JT Miller for the conditional first, everybody was freaking out.
Yeah, everyone was
freaking out. It's like, bro, JT Miller, nasty.
It ended up being good. So you know what? Maybe the Savard thrives from being on Tampa Bay, an amazing team. They're the defending Stanley Cup champs. You know.
Yeah, no, he'll probably play in their top 4. I'm not too familiar with Tampa Bay's defensive core.
I'm not either. I think they got Hedman, Sergachev, McDonough. Now you got Savard in there. Like,
yeah, you some big names. Savard in with McDonough. That could be pretty solid.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to get past in the playoffs. And I think defense is a high demand right now, and they just got a good one for Tampa Bay for the run.
Yeah, Columbus was lucky to have an asset like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. We can move on to a next trade. Do you want to?
I don't know. How important is John Merrill to us, to Montreal?
I mean, Montreal is they're they're close to a wild card spot, and they could be passed, but I guess Vancouver is pretty behind them because of all the COVID cases. But the season did get extended. That is some big news we forgot to mention.
Yeah, it did.
Is it to May 16th, or am I wrong there?
I'm sorry for my phone. Shut up, phone.
It's okay. It gives a little background noise to our podcast.
Shut up, phone. I'll kill you.
Yeah, we'll smash you. We're bigger than you.
I will mess you up. I'm looking at Montreal's defensive core. Weber, Petrie, Edmondson. Oh yeah, they got Eric Gustafsson too.
Yeah.
Montreal loaded up with some decent pieces.
They did. Okay, Montreal's an interesting team to talk about too, because Bergevin, he let go Mete on waivers.
Yeah, that was so odd to me.
Why not give up a pick for him? At least if you're just going to move for nothing.
With how in-demand defense has been, are you telling me that Mete, like over the course of the season, because he's been on the block for the whole season, he requested a trade. Like, you never got offered like a fourth?
Exactly.
A third?
Yeah.
Why just let him slip like that?
I don't know. Like, and apparently recently Bergevin said in a press conference, he's like, I could have got a first rounder for him, but I decided to put him on waivers. But he was joking. So, but why was he joking about that? Victor Mete is like,
and then for Ottawa to pick him up,
yeah, it's like, right.
Ottawa in the same division is going to be so good.
He's
and Montreal
young.
Montreal better pray that Mete doesn't turn out, because that guy's gonna haunt them.
They're lucky Ottawa's not as good as they are. As good as the Montreal Canadiens are right now, but in a few years, that's going to bite them in the butt. Victor Mete is only 22 years old. He's part of their future now. He only has 3 points in 15 games, which is a little under the it's under what he has performed before. Last year he got 11 points and 13 points. But
I mean, it's just a bad season for him, not getting the minutes, probably not getting the playing time. He requested a trade. He's probably pissed. I mean, he's probably going to go to Ottawa and be surrounded by a lot of guys his age,
for sure,
on a team that's like on the up and coming, right?
For
like, sure. I think, and Montreal is just a different market to play in. It's just a little bit harsher.
He'll thrive there too, I think. In Ottawa. Like, playing with guys the same age, like, it's going to be a fast team, especially the defense, too. So, I think it's a pretty good trade I think Ottawa won that trade for sure. I could say that. Or, it's not even a trade, it's a waiver pickup.
Ottawa just wins.
Ottawa just wins. Montreal gets John Merrill, Eric Gustafsson. Is that really does that replace Victor Mete, like, what he can become?
Yeah, I think, like, Eric Gustafsson, we saw what he could do a couple years ago. He hasn't been that since, but, like, potential's there.
Potential is there. But they're not going to be there as long as Mete will be. I guess Mete just wasn't a good fit for Montreal.
The thing about Montreal, man, is they have the most underrated defenseman in the league.
They do. Jeff Petrie. He's insane. And he's a guy that he started to get better, like, later in age, right? He's not a guy that was amazing when he was younger, but he was still pretty good. And now he's starting to show it. He's getting the points too. He gets points like almost every night. So
yeah, Montreal has a sneaky good defensive corps now. Like, Joel Edmondson is like a plus 28 It's like
Yeah,
insane how good his
that
numbers
is
are.
insane. Joel Edmondson, he's pretty decent too.
Plus 28 on a team that's like not like that good,
Yeah,
which is crazy to me. I don't know.
that is insane. Yeah. So John Merrill, I guess, and Detroit got Hayden Verbeek and a 5th rounder. I don't know. It's pretty even.
I don't
trade.
know very much about Hayden Verbeek. I don't.
I don't either. I mean, maybe he'll turn out to be something. Maybe he won't.
He's 23.
Oh, that's not a bad age.
What kind of numbers does this guy have? He's playing in the AHL.
AHL, yeah, I assume that.
He's got 3 points in 7 games this year. He played in the ECHL the year before. Okay. Well, that's not too good.
No. So maybe it was just
he's
like
almost a point per game in the ECHL. Yeah, he could be a depth guy.
That's okay. I mean, Detroit doesn't really need John Merrill, and he's not part of their future. So
no. Another 3-team trade with Columbus in the middle here, acquiring another first, sending Nick Foligno and Stefan Noesen to the Leafs
in the nick of time. That was the headline in the Toronto Sun actually this week.
Right. Well, the Toronto Sun is a terrible newspaper.
Oh, they are.
Okay.
They're very biased.
It's the worst newspaper.
But
it's not even that they're biased. They're just bad. They're just bad.
Catchy slogan, though. I had to give them to that in the nick of time.
Okay.
I mean, Nick Foligno, he's not like a superstar. He's no Taylor Hall, right? But I feel like Nick Foligno fits their team a lot more than Taylor Hall would.
I think Nick Foligno is a superstar, just not like a prototypical one.
No.
Like, I think he's a superstar middle 6 player.
For sure.
Like, there's not very many guys who do everything that Nick Foligno does and can score the way Nick Foligno can.
Yeah, like, he can also be physical, too. He can almost do everything. And
he is playoff perfect. Like, that's a guy any team would want in the playoffs, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Like, he's a leadership on the team, which is Toronto's interest this year is getting veterans and leaders. So they have like four or five former captains. They got Jason Spezza, they got Joe Thornton, John Tavares, and now they got Nick Foligno. Pretty solid. They got leadership on that team, and the veterans is the way that they're going, and I like that direction that they're going in.
Absolutely.
And they also got
the Leafs are going to be really scary.
Oh, they are. And they also got Stefan Noesen, which is maybe a guy that can come up too if they want to.
Depth. Perfect depth.
Yeah. Perfect.
Noesen can play in the NHL, no problem.
Where do you think Nick Foligno will be slotted in the lineup? Or fits best?
I mean, so what, your first line is what? It's Marner, Matthews, Hyman?
Yep, I'd say so.
All right, that doesn't change. Second line has Galchenyuk on it, right?
Yeah, I can see...
With Tavares and Nylander, I could see Foligno slotting in with Galchenyuk.
I can see that too. And right now, Nylander's not playing, but I think he'll be back at the same time Foligno will start playing as well. So, because COVID protocol.
You could also put Foligno on the third line and have him play with Spezza and who plays with Mikheyev.
Yeah, I like that line.
That's kind of filthy too.
Yeah,
and then you have three lines who are capable of scoring. Galchenyuk's kind of weak, but I mean, like, Tavares and Nylander can carry him.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Tavares can, I think, would mesh well together with him. But the thing about Foligno, I could see him playing on any line on that team.
Yep, he can do it all.
If they needed him to, he would. And
he's honestly another Zach Hyman.
He is a Zach Hyman's very valuable to the team, and he's just a valuable player to have. A valuable veteran. His dad played. Okay. His dad played. Fun fact: his dad played on the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he was on a cup run with them. He's wearing the same number as him, number 71. So it's gonna be pretty funny seeing that.
That's awesome.
That is awesome when you can play the same team that your dad played for. So, and I don't know. I don't like the coaching of John Tortorella. I think the players feel pressured by him a lot. I don't know if Nick Foligno liked that style. But Sheldon Keefe's going to be a much different coach than John Tortorella. He's going to be more calm. It looks like he has a more calm effect on the players. They don't feel as pressured like Mike Babcock made them feel. So maybe he'll thrive from that. Won't feel as much pressure on him, especially with no C on his jersey. So
I think he could flourish. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. And but another point here, Columbus with another first round pick.
Yeah, that's a big point to point out.
Winners.
Yeah, they see. I could see how it worked for both teams, but I can see how Columbus won that, where they get a first round pick and a fourth round pick, so they got a few picks in them, and now they're maybe starting a retool. And a first round pick is very valuable to them, but how good is that first round pick going to be? Because is Toronto a favor to win the Stanley Cup this year? Kind of.
A first round pick's a first round pick to me.
That's true. I guess you can get anybody.
Any first is good.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, you can definitely. And this year's draft class is kind of all over the place because a lot of them aren't playing very much.
Yep.
So like guys could slip.
Yeah.
You know, who teams haven't scouted enough, right? And like Columbus, like their GM's from Finland, and I'm sure he's got the best connections in the league in Finland.
Oh, for sure.
Like, he's gonna be able to see guys. You know.
Man, he is good at drafting as well. Kakalainen, is that his name?
Yeah, Kakalainen.
Kakalainen, yeah. He's pretty good at drafting, and especially Finns. Yeah, actually, they just announced today that the CHL Memorial Cup's been canceled, so you really don't... The guys could drop, and you really don't know their true potential, because I guess a lot of guys thrive being the Memorial Cup. It's just luckily that the World Juniors happened, so you can kind of see some of them. And how they perform under a lot of pressure. So
yeah,
we'll see how that goes. But I think it's pretty even trade. Made sense for both teams.
Definitely.
Yeah. Do you want to move on to Mike Riley to the Boston Bruins for a third round pick from Ottawa?
Yeah, that's a good trade for Ottawa. Getting a third is always smart, and like Mike Riley just is decent, slots into Boston. Boston's kind of weak defensively, especially with Grzelcyk being out. Is he still hurt? Grzelcyk's still hurt, right?
I think so. And another thing to point out that they lost Torrey Krug, they lost Zdeno Chara. Adding another defenseman would not hurt them.
Dude, look at their IR list is disgusting.
Really?
Brandon Carlo, Charlie McAvoy, Grzelcyk's out now.
McAvoy's out too.
Yeah, and so. Like, their best defenseman was Grzelcyk. Now he's hurt. And so now it's Kevin Miller, Connor Clifton, Jack... I've never even heard of him. Jeremy Lauzon, Steven Kampfer. Like, bro.
Man, that's no names.
They needed Mike Riley.
They
needed Mike Riley.
Is Mike Riley a guy to get? Why didn't they get Ekholm or someone like that, you know? I guess maybe he wasn't for grabs
Maybe they didn't want to pay for it, you know?
Yeah, that would have been a first rounder. They didn't even pay a first rounder for Taylor Hall. They're not paying a first rounder for Ekholm. So,
nah.
Yeah, they're lacking on the defense right now, but, I mean, yeah, Riley would probably be a good pick for them.
Boston's gonna Boston, you know. They're just always good.
It's the name. It's just the name.
It's the name.
It's the brand.
David Rittich to Toronto.
I was very confused when I saw this. They made the trade at like late at night, like 11 or 12 o'clock. And I was like, another goalie? So everyone in the comments were saying, is Freddie gone? Bet you Freddie's gone by the deadline. Freddie's being traded. I do not think this at all. I read more into it where Freddie might be out longer than we think he's going to be out. He might be put on the long-term injury reserve, which does free up some cap space, but also what you're going to have Jack Campbell and Mike Hutchison in the playoffs. I don't think so. So David Rittich...
You don't want Mike Hutchinson. No. You do not want Mike Hutchinson.
That's a nightmare. I'm sorry, Hutchison, but you just don't cut it in the NHL.
Look, I think right now Campbell's the guy, but I think obviously he's not going to win every game.
No.
You know?
I mean, he lost last night to Montreal, and that's who they're probably going to face in the first round.
Oh, right. They lost. Yeah.
His 11-game win streak, record-breaking, past Carey Price. That's pretty recognizable. I have to give him credits for that.
David Rittich is good though.
He is.
Like David Rittich is better than Jack Campbell.
I can vouch. I vouch for that too. Like they classify him as a backup. Honestly, I can see him being a starter.
Rittich is a starter.
He was
a starter before Markstrom got there.
Yeah.
You know, like in Calgary. David Rittich is legit. David Rittich is a good. You know, they call him Big Save Dave.
Big
You know,
save.
you need
Dave.
that in the playoffs. You need that in the playoffs.
Man, that's a hilarious. They have many funny nicknames in Toronto, and Big Save Dave is a good addition to that funny trade. And the
Leafs didn't pay very much for him.
No, third round pick.
Yeah, maybe that's because there's a lot of goalies similar to Rittich in the market right now.
Oh, for sure. And man, it's a 2022, so it's years from now. So
next year, yeah.
Yeah, next year. Yeah. Wow, it's already 2022 next year. Jeez.
I hate that.
Man.
Yeah, David Rittich is a good pickup for the Leafs for sure.
Oh, yeah.
If Anderson's gone, Campbell, I'd be comfortable with Campbell and Rittich. Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I agree with that.
The big one, Taylor Hall, Anders Bjork, Curtis Lazar.
This was interesting, and I think Buffalo lost so much on this trade.
Yes.
You agree with me?
Yeah, Anders Bjork is a decent player.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with Anders Bjork, but to only get a second, like, I don't know, that should have been a first. Considering like a guy like Nick Foligno got a first, like, no slight to Nick Foligno, but like Taylor freaking Hall, like, I know he's having a bad year, but it's Taylor Hall. Like, I think the consensus is as soon as you plug him into a lineup with good players, he should play well.
Oh, for sure.
He just hasn't had that.
Now he's on a team that has been to the playoffs like every year. So he's going to thrive on being on a winning team now. Finally, after many years of losing, he's finally going to be on a winning team and leaving the depressing Buffalo Sabres. And only for a second-round pick in Anders Bjork.
Who do you think Hall slots in with on Boston?
I don't know. I saw a picture of Marchand, Pasternak, and Hall, but I don't think any of them can play the center role. So I can see. Yeah, I can see. Imagine a line with Taylor Hall, Pasternak, and Bergeron. Best line in the league.
I was thinking more along the lines of DeBrusk, Hall, and Krejci.
Even that, they have two amazing lines, and that top six just turned into one of the best in the league.
I don't think you break up the top line because that top line is the top three line in the league.
Oh, they have good chemistry too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Hall slots in on the second line. Maybe he ignites DeBrusk. You know.
Yeah, because DeBrusk is struggling this year too. So you're right. Yeah, if you can get him going, I can see them because they're 48. They have 48 points, so they that's a playoff spot. Yeah, I think they're in the playoff spot, just like on the wild card spot. But they could easily come up. The Penguins only have 56 points. Islanders and Capitals only have 58. If they any of these teams go on a losing streak, they can easily pass them. Now with Taylor Hall, that's some scoring on your team. That's assist on your team. He can do everything. He's a big guy. So Boston's going to be lethal, and I think they're going to make it to the playoffs and be lethal in the playoffs as well.
100%. 100%. That's a big move for Boston.
It is.
And maybe Hall resigns. I mean, you never know. He
said that he wouldn't mind a few more years in Boston. So he definitely is.
Well, he'll get his playoffs.
He just shouldn't sign a 1 year deal worth $8 million with another team ever again.
No, man. Just take a 5 year, $6 million per, and just call it a day, man. Just enjoy the rest of your career winning.
Exactly. You know? Buy your house, buy your mansion, your Lamborghini, and just relax by the pool. I mean, in Boston, it's probably not warm all the time, but
no, Boston. That's not a city. Okay, I'll stop. Pittsburgh Penguins pick up Jeff Carter for conditional third and a conditional fourth.
Solid pick for the Penguins. Solid pickup.
Absolutely. I snagged up Jeff Carter in fantasy hockey as soon as I saw it.
Did you actually? Man.
Yeah.
I've been slacking in fantasy. I have. But yeah, that was a good call by you because I think he's
playoffs start next week, dude. Jeez,
that's insane.
Playoffs start next week. Top two get a bye, and then the next four have to play. I don't know where you're at actually. Let me look.
I think I'm like 5th in the standings.
I'm around there, dude. I've been playing really bad lately.
I have too. One night I forgot to put in Hyman and I forgot to put in Jordan Stahl, and that hurt me. I forgot to set my lineups one time, and it really hurt me.
You got to take this week seriously because I'm in 4th, you're in 5th. I have 56 wins. I have 123 points. You have 121.
Yep.
Okay. Only the top 6 make the playoffs. 7th place is only 2 wins behind you and 3 wins behind me. You have to have a good week to make the playoffs.
So I didn't know we were going to the playoffs, so I thought it was just the season. So that's good to know. I'm gonna take it seriously.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can get up there. I think I can. I have Connor McDavid on my team.
Well,
Zach
you're
Hyman.
in the playoffs right now, so just make
Keep
sure
going.
you score some points.
Well,
Score
right now
some
I'm
points.
losing 10-0, so it's not looking too hot for me.
You gotta fix that. Wait, I'm not playing you, am I?
No.
No, I'm not.
I don't know who I'm playing, but yeah, good call for Jeff Carter. Honestly, adding a veteran to that team, and he could still score.
That's the guy in 7th. Oh my god, dude, you gotta beat him.
Okay, yeah, I will.
Turn up.
Man, I'll drop my whole team now and get new players.
Honestly,
I picked up Justin Schultz, but
good pickup.
Yeah,
I picked up Jeff Carter though because I think he'll play power play time with Crosby.
Oh, for sure. And
that's why.
On the LA Kings team, 36 years old, he's still putting up 19 points, 8 goals, 11 assists. Not bad.
On a Dogwater Kings team.
Yeah, exactly. And he struggled last year. He's been struggling, but he probably has been hurt too. It looks like it. Yeah, he's been dealing with the injury bug, but honestly, he's been a player that's proved himself. He's made it to the Stanley Cup Finals with he's won the cup with LA and
twice.
Yeah, twice, and so he knows what to do to win. So adding that team to Pittsburgh, where they thrive on their veteranship, and adding to that core with Crosby, Malkin, and Letang, Gensel, he adds to their top 6, and that's what they needed, I think, to acquire in the trade deadline. So
I heard Burke say he might want him to play 3rd-line center.
I wouldn't mind that, honestly.
But he could also play 2nd-line center while Malkin's out. I mean,
he can even play 1st line if they really needed him to.
On the wing. On the wing.
Yeah. He can go wherever you want him you want to slot him. So
yeah, he slots in nicely.
Solid pickup for the Penguins.
Okay, next trade. It's not that big of a deal, but
big of a deal for you.
About it.
Okay.
So this trade upsets me a lot because Adam Gaudette was not having a great season. And if you're not familiar with Adam Gaudette on the Canucks, now traded to the Blackhawks, he won the Hobey Baker Award in college. He won the award as the best player in college. He came into the league, and the plans were for him to kind of be our 3rd-line center. Granted, this season, he had not taken a very big step. A lot of people were criticizing him. And then he got COVID. He was patient 0 in the Vancouver Canucks locker room.
He was
and
the
then
start.
The rest of the team got it. He was the start. Now, they're saying adamantly that it wasn't, like, they're not mad at him, like he didn't break the rules or anything. It just happened that way.
Yeah.
But what's upsetting to me about the Adam Gaudette trade is you have traded him at his absolute lowest value. Gaudette 2 seasons ago had 33 points in 59 games, 12 goals, 21 assists. Good season, like a genuinely good season, and he's like an energy player.
An amazing
this
season.
This year the Canucks are having a bad season. He's got 7 points, okay? Like, I get it. He's not having a good year. But why trade him now? Like, what's the point of trading for a fringe AHLer? Apparently they're hoping he could become Tyler Mott. Like a Tyler Mott-esque player. Like, Tyler Mott, like, that was a freak accident with Tyler Mott. Like, you don't get those kinds of players that often. And Matthew Highmore is just fringe. He's just fringe. Adam Gaudette is still a legitimate prospect. He's a little bit older, but he still has the potential. And we've seen it before with college players taking more time to adjust to the NHL. And we trade him for nothing. Anyways, that's my take on that.
I can hear you. I can hear your anger.
I get that as a fan of a team, you overvalue players. I get that. Adam Gaudette, in the grand scheme of things, might not be that valuable. But Jesus, man, he just scored 31 points as a young guy, and you sell him for the lowest value possible? It's nuts to me.
See, I'm not even a fan of the team, but I was shocked by this, and I can feel your pain, and I totally understand that, because Adam Gaudette's only 24 years old, and I thought of him as a really good prospect that, yeah, he's on a struggling Vancouver Canucks team, which got the COVID bug, and he you're like you said, he's the Hobie Baker winner. Players out of college take a lot longer, but the value that they gave up for him, not even like a pick that you don't like, that could possibly be amazing. Matthew Highmore, fun fact, he was on actually the Stanley Cup winning team in my franchise mode, so he's worth something.
Okay, never mind. He's worth something.
Hey, he scored in the
value.
playoffs.
Oh man.
I don't know. I mean, this trade didn't really make sense to me, but it's done.
Is what it is.
The damage has been done. Do you want to move on to the next biggest trade I think from here is
Sam Bennett?
Yeah, Sam Bennett. Let's move on to the Sam Bennett trade.
It's a good trade for Florida. It's a good trade for Calgary too. I mean, to get a second for Sam Bennett, that's pretty good.
Honestly, it's pretty
I don't know much about Emil Heineman, but
apparently he's a pretty good prospect that Florida drafted. And a second round pick, Sam Bennett, like I just maybe a third.
Sam Bennett's a contributor in the playoffs. Like, he will contribute.
He is, but like I think he maybe a few years ago he would have been worth a little more. He's still pretty young. He's still 24, but he looks 40 years old. And he's
only 18, I thought.
Man, it feels like he's been around forever. But he is, yeah, he's only 18 with a bald head and mustache. You still think of the Sam Bennett that couldn't do the pull-up, but
the pull-ups. It's always the pull-ups.
It's always the pull-ups.
We already talked about Gustafsson going to Montreal. So that's a decent trade for a seventh. That's a good trade.
Ben Hutton.
It's not a major trade. Okay, but Ben Hutton. I don't know how much you know about Ben Hutton, but he used to be on the Canucks.
Yeah.
And 3 or 4 years ago, the Canucks defense had injuries everywhere. And so we played Ben Hutton on our top pairing for quite some time. Pretty good.
What went wrong with him?
I don't think anything went wrong with him, man. Like, he just kind of got buried in our depth, and then he hasn't really gotten a chance to play on like good teams. Dude, Ben Hutton, I think, can be a very solid defenseman.
I think so too. I was a fan of this.
Watch him.
I was honestly a fan of this, and I posted on Instagram him dancing to Barbie Girl. I don't know what it is with NHL players and the song Barbie Girl, but they love it.
Yeah, that was a Canucks event. I saw it.
Yeah,
Jake Virtanen behind him wearing a Grizzlies jersey and a cowboy hat.
Oh yeah, that's who was wearing the Grizzly jersey.
That's Virtanen, yeah.
Oh man, he shoots left, which they needed right-handed defenseman, but honestly, he can slot into the team. He's a guy he did well in Vancouver. I thought he was a good young player, but he's 27. He's not even that old. I guess you could say.
Watch for him, man.
Yeah.
When he plays, pay attention to him. Tell me what you think, because when he played on Vancouver and he was playing in our top two, I mean, dark days. Ben Hutton should never be playing in your top two.
No.
But he was solid. Like, he was good.
No, I thought he was solid too. And guys on Toronto that they get for sheet sometimes really thrive on that team. Like, think of Ron Hainsey and Matt Hunwick, who played like large minutes on the team, and they were like top 6 defensemen. They were older, but they did pretty well when they were playing on Toronto. So this might be a good fit for him. For a 5th round pick. Why not?
It's a good pickup.
For sure.
Next big trade. Good Branson, whatever.
Jordan,
whatever.
Hayden Fleury.
Okay. Here's probably, I think, the biggest one, dude. Verana, Panic, Mantha.
Yeah, okay, this is an important one to talk about, I think. This is a trade I didn't see coming, honestly. I think Detroit
wins.
Detroit just cleared Washington, but I see the point from both teams where Washington got a good player that's young, and he's going to continue to get better. He hasn't really reached his potential where they kind of thought he would be at this point, but they give up Jakub Vrana, which he's 26 and he's coming off a contract year, but he's still a good young player, and he contributed in the playoffs when they won the cup.
Varane is very good. My only thing with him is he's one of those guys who has like a super high skill level, but when he's not on, like when he's not having a good game, he is invisible. Like, he does nothing. He does nothing else. That's my only complaint with Verona. I find him to be totally invisible when he's not scoring.
I agree with you. Like, sometimes you can hear Verona, and then sometimes he can just disappear for a long time.
Yeah,
because
I've watched games where I just don't even hear his freaking name.
No,
ever.
No, and he probably can play more minutes on some nights, and some nights they just don't play him as much. And
yeah,
he really, honestly, maybe they didn't see him as a valuable asset and saw Mantha more as a valuable asset. Maybe Mantha will thrive in Washington.
Maybe Mantha's still good. Like,
yeah, he's still young too, Anthony Mantha.
Yeah, but I mean, for Detroit to get a first and Verona basically and a second for Mantha, like that's crazy. They did take on the bad Panic contract, but like,
they did.
Detroit
But Panic can be pretty decent if he needs to be, but he also maybe is overpaid.
I was reading the Washington Capitals subreddit about it, and they were just absolutely dumping all over Panic. Like, they were saying, like, he's paid like $2.5 million, and they were just like, that is our worst contract by far. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I think he had one good season, and he got overpaid, and that tends to happen.
Didn't he play in Tampa?
He played Toronto. He played Arizona. He played in. That's where he started. He started in Tampa. Actually, you're right. And then he came over. He's been to a bunch of teams. Richard Panic. He hasn't really like stuck with a team. And he's been a part of the Washington Capitals team for a few years, and he's done pretty decent. But I think he had that one good year in Washington or Arizona, and he got that contract. And right now, he's not playing up to that contract, and it's kind of a cap dump for Washington, where they're gonna have expiring guys like you said. You mentioned before, like Ovechkin has to be re-signed, which that will be a hefty contract. Who else on their team that needs to be re-signed?
I can look. I know they have a lot of money locked up in veterans.
For sure, yeah. Justin Schultz is making quite a bit of money.
Connor Sheary, but that's nothing. Chara.
Yeah.
No, they don't actually have very many. They don't have any expiring contracts.
Oh well.
Lundqvist, Chara, Sheary, Michael Raffle.
We'll see.
And Ovi.
Apparently, Ovi's the big one, right? They probably want to make room for Ovi, but also apparently Lundqvist is saying he was trying to aim to come back this year, but his heart has some swelling around it. But he's aiming for next year. So I think he will be on the Washington Capitals next year, which
I hope we see him again.
I hope so too, man. He's a great goaltender. He deserves to play more. It's unfortunate what happened to him, but he'll be back. I know he will. He's pushing for it. So that's another guy in Washington.
Yeah, I think unless doctors tell him he can't, he'll be back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good trade for Detroit, and that's an interesting trade for Washington. Maybe Mantha turns up. You know.
Yeah, maybe take out that first round pick for Detroit. Then it would have made a little more sense. But I think maybe Washington gave up a little too much for Mantha.
A little bit too much, for sure.
Too much.
Well, actually, a lot too much.
Too much.
Mantha could turn out good. He was playing on a really bad Detroit team. Like, maybe he's just one of those guys that can't create on his own, and he needs other guys to create for him, and then he just reaps the rewards, you know?
For sure. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Canucks get Madison Bowie from Chicago. Bowie used to be a high-end prospect.
Yeah, and he's kind of died down a bit.
But apparently we're going to expose him in the draft, so we'll see.
Oh, I see.
And then Carolina gets Yenny Hakanpää from Anaheim, and Anaheim gets Hayden Fleury.
Hayden Fleury's a pretty good defenseman. Pretty young still.
Yeah. Hakanpää's like leading the league, or not leading the league, but has like an absurd amount of hits.
Yeah, I know. I'd consider picking him for fantasy, but then I didn't.
Me too. Hayden Fleury, what's he doing?
He was drafted pretty high too, I'm pretty sure. I think.
Yeah, he was. He hasn't panned out, dude.
No.
He's played 4 seasons now at least.
Carolina has had so many defense. I don't think he's gotten the time that he deserves.
I mean, Carolina has like guys like Jake Bean coming up, right?
Yeah.
Like, Hayden Fleury becomes expendable, and Hakanpää's going to help them in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
genuinely.
Yeah, needs a guy that can throw the body around. That's the guy right there.
Yep, he'll slot in nice
for sure.
All right, that's all of it.
That's all of it.
That's all of it.
Interesting trade deadline. A lot of trades to talk about. It was a little boring for most of the trade deadline, but then the last few hours, Usually that's when things happen. Things happened. So, good talk on the trade deadline. Honestly, I think the total winners of my opinion, I'm going to say the Toronto Maple Leafs. Not trying to be biased here, but I think they got assets they need to win the cup. And
my biggest winner. My biggest winner. My biggest winner.
Don't want to make that
Columbus.
mistake.
I think Columbus is the biggest winner, man. To get 2 first-round picks.
I can see Columbus too. Yeah, the first round picks is what they need.
Yeah, Columbus, the Leafs, and that Detroit trade. Detroit wins because of that trade too. That's a huge haul for one player.
For sure.
Losers. Florida.
Buffalo.
I think they didn't do enough.
Yeah, Florida. Yeah, Sam Bennett wasn't enough for them. The push for the playoffs. I think they needed someone better.
I think Buffalo are losers. They just didn't get any real value back for
Taylor Hall. You could have gone way more for Taylor Hall. So
Canucks, I'd say, are losers.
Fortunately,
just
sorry,
because
Bryce.
of that. It's okay. Boston are winners.
Yeah, they got Taylor freaking Hall.
Yeah. Islanders are winners. Yeah. It's an interesting trade deadline. I'm really excited for the playoffs. I can't wait to see a lot of these players suit up.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be exciting hockey. We look forward to it. All right, I guess
anyways,
we'll wrap it up here.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. We're now on Spotify.
Yeah,
just look up Fourth Liners Podcast on Spotify, and we'll be uploading our episodes there.
I always interrupt you, Bryce. I always do it.
How dare you?
I know, but yeah, we're on Spotify now. We're working to get on Apple Podcasts. It takes a while to get verified on it, so that's what we're just waiting for. Also follow our TikTok. I'll post it on Instagram. I'll post all our social media as well that you can follow us: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. We'll be posting a lot of content. I like to be interactive with the fans as well. So is Bryce. We love to hear your opinion and your support. We appreciate it. And yeah, we're on Spotify. Go check us out. I'll send a link as well on the Instagram and everything as well. And thank you guys for listening so much.
Yeah, thank you for listening, guys. We'll see you next episode, whenever that'll be. Maybe we'll discuss the jerseys.
That's an interesting... Yeah, I'm down to discuss the jerseys.
Nah, it's more of an off-season thing, I think.
Yeah, when nothing's happening, for sure. Time to play some franchise mode. That's what it's time for.
Yeah.
Win a third Stanley Cup.
Put it up. Yeah, all right. Yeah, thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.